Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Blockchain. I'm your host, A Minu, and there's a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of videos coming your way, just updating on the week and what's going on behind the scenes. What's the plan? So, first, let's start off with Upland. What has been going on with Upland? So, we do know, if you recall, they've had some bumpy road with some city releases, both in Brooklyn and Oakland, and they've gone through several stress tests in the past couple of weeks to try to maximize or optimize their systems and make sure the user experience is as ideal as possible. So what does that mean? This last week or this last Thursday, I believe, they did another stress test and it went relatively well. They've just had a fantastic treasure, I should say, scavenger hunt now to kind of further test the mark and then also I guess give us a little tidbit of what's yet to come. So they had a scavenger hunt yesterday called a Spark Reactor, and it has, was shown to be really, really successful. The huge prize was about 3.5 million UPX, or just under 3.5 million UPX, which translates to about 3.5 USD dollars. So, congratulations to the top 20 players in both San Francisco and Fresno. This is where it was located. As you know from myself, I don't do well in treasure hunts or scavenger hunts. It's just, this is not my forte. Doesn't mean it's not yours. It doesn't mean it's not somebody else's. Knock yourself out. I think it was great. I think everyone had a good time, and like I said, that reward was fantastic. But what does it mean? It means right now that hopefully, moving forward, Upland has been able to get on track again with some of the deliverables that they have. And in fact, I mean, I always stress patience is the best virtue, but sometimes, most often, you're playing a dance between the two. Sometimes you need to be the rabbit, and sometimes you need to be the turtle. And in this case, right now, Upland needs to do a little bit of catch up in terms of providing an experience for user base, especially since its user base is growing. I mean, this is a good need to fix versus a fix of something that's going in the reverse direction. They're going in a positive direction. There's a growth, but with that growth, there's a demand, and they have to kind of match that demand. And with the new hirees that they brought on board, hopefully some of the staff is delegated to certain tasks and areas in which to hit these milestones and bring Upland up to par with other game structures. I'm not saying in comparison, but in terms of user experience. So, will we see property builds relatively soon? Who knows? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, I know many others are. Maybe it'll be something by midsummer, maybe sooner. Uh, it's, it's yet to be told what's coming down the pipe. But overall, this is the great stuff that's needed moving forward. So what has happened in Upland right now? So they've because everything's gone a little smoother, they have opened up the rest of Wave One for Oakland and for Brooklyn, I believe. And you can see if you've been playing the game, the congestion is far, far more in place. Like there's a lot more areas that are up for sale, more activity, a lot more areas that are filling up. If whatever is blank, that means that's for the wave two, which is yet to be determined when that's coming through. But you can see right now there's just more volume of closed or minted properties that have come about in Oakland itself, which is a great thing. That means the buyer base has increased significantly. If I recall, they made a huge sell off in the last 24 hours just by bringing in these new features, and everyone was excited because you have a growing base, but they need to be able to do something. They need to be able to purchase items or sell items, and at this point they had over maybe about just under 5,000 properties minted yesterday, which is that's a lot. I mean, let's take a look at Brooklyn and see what's going on in Brooklyn. I mean, I've stressed it before in terms of how this game's is quite different than most other virtual land games, simply because of the complexity. It's far more complex in terms of trying to mirror something. It's far more difficult than building from scratch, and literally you can do whatever you want. They're still trying to match a reality that most people are familiar with. And I'll coin a phrase from a co-founder from another game, simulating an economy. So you already have to simulate an existing reality and then simulate an economy around that. That's a lot of technical analysis. That's a lot of programming and coding and testing as well. So I understand the frustration both sides. There's a massive frustration both on the players' end and on the developer side. But at the same time, we have to understand what all that layering means in terms of growth and moving forward. So right now we're in Brooklyn, and I'm scanning through Brooklyn and to see how those neighborhoods have changed. And again, it's been maybe a week since I've last really touched into the gameplay, because I knew it was being glitchy, so I didn't want to go in and get frustrated myself trying to find a property. And probably now most properties are gone, which is that's the nature of the beast. But I can tell just by pure visuals right now that from what I've seen previously, there's a lot more that has been applied here. A lot more purchases have been in place, and or items on the market. That means a growing base is happening. More people are adding to the portfolio. And there's opportunities as well. Like, okay, look at this, gone. Like, what's going to come the next stage? And that's where everyone's anticipating. And we're still in wave two, because these properties would have been sold a long time ago. These properties would have been minted. So we're still in wave two for Brooklyn, as that we're waiting for that to be released. So hang in there. If you're feeling a little on edge, and things are just not seeming to pan out as you expected, we're getting there. Upland is definitely getting there. It's going through the grinds. It's making its headways, and as I said, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Like, people are connecting and trying to find out what their future plans are. So take this a little lull if you want to plan, like, build, collaborate, create your teams, whatever it is. Take advantage of some of these lull moments to develop any strategies you like. So now, moving forward. So what has been one of the challenges coming up from that as well, in a lot of discussions? And I right now I'll definitely say thank you for all the new followers that have been coming on board. I'm glad you're enjoying the game and the content, and continue to follow and share and subscribe. I'll definitely be bringing in more content as we continue. There's more hints for more things coming down the pipeline, and you'll just have to watch the videos to see where I'm heading in the discussion. But right now, I know people have been asking about fiat out and travel, and so I'm gonna tackle the fiat out for the moment first, and stress that it is something everyone has to first understand that it's only available if you're a U.S. citizen. So if you're not a U.S. citizen, the fiat out options are not for you, at least for the moment. And remember, it's all about solidifying and gaining agreements through regulations and compliance within the US. How that expands out once that's been established is yet to be determined. So what has to happen if you are a US citizen and you do want to participate in the fiat options? Then you have to go to the San Francisco and go to City Hall. You have to be able to go into City Hall and register and then wait for approval. Those are the three steps. So you have to be in San Francisco, go to City Hall, register for your request, and then wait for an approval. Once that's been achieved, then you can have the option to sell your property or your structure once whatever stage the building phase is, for fiat. You'll be likely have a pull down menu, and it's okay. I want to convert my asset to fiat rather than UPX. And let's go take a quick look at assets and see if anything has changed there. And no, that's still in the general stages that we had before. So that's one of the things that's been coming up. Fiat out, that's where you need to go. You have to be in San Francisco. You have to visit the city hall here, and then you have to register, and then you have to just wait and see where the approval goes. So city hall is the place to be to try to achieve fiat out if you're a US citizen. Okay, now the next thing has been the challenge is how do I get to city? I want to go to Oakland, or I want to go to Brooklyn, or I want to go to Fresno. This is a little trickier, and I because it's going against the logic that we know, and I've said this before, and so I'll try to repeat it so it makes a little bit more sense. If you want to travel from one city to the other, you can generally do it via a direct route. You go on the highway, travel to the highway, or you get to the airport and you find a destination flight that takes you directly to that city. Fiat has had to, Upland had to reconstruct that feature so the travel is not direct. Your travel has to bypass, if you're looking through major cities or through any main city, it has to go through the major cities first. So the main cities being Manhattan and San Francisco, you have to travel through those first. So I'll have a little diagram, and then at the same time I'll post this in Discord. I'll leave a link for it as well as a guide. You guys go and download it as well. So you'll see here, if I want to travel between Fresno and San Francisco, there's bus terminals that you have to go to. You have to go to these bus terminals, and you see that little icon there. And from there, then you can travel to the next city you would like to. But you cannot go between Fresno and Oakland, or Oakland to Brooklyn. Like, there's no direct link to these secondary cities. You have to go to the main cities first. If you want to now go to Manhattan, you have to, from San Francisco, you have to send your Explorer to the California airport. From there, buy your ticket, and from that ticket, take your transport, and then land in the New York airport. Once you've landed to New York airport, send your Explorer to a location in Manhattan. If you want to go to Brooklyn, then you have to be in Manhattan in order to travel to Brooklyn. You cannot be at the airport in New York and then go to Brooklyn. That does not work. That travel does not work. It's not an option. It's not a possibility for the moment. So hopefully, with this guide, you'll be able to kind of navigate your travel a little better and understand how those mechanics works as well. So I'll have a link to that. I guess as a Google Drive, I'll test that out. But also I'll have it, if you're in Discord, you'll be able to see that in Discord as well. So I hope that gives a great wrap up in terms of the information for Upland. Like I said, these are a blitz of information that I'm bringing into the table just to bring attention to the gameplay and how the game works within this environment, and knowing that there's new things happening. There's definitely new features that are coming along, and what those features are being. So when later on you see Spark, what's Spark? Spark's going to be the component, the actual ingredient needed to build your structure. So to build a structure similar to what you have in City Hall or any of the city buildings that you've seen in the city that hasn't been torn down, that's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to have the token Spark to build. So all these little how would I call all these little events or treasure hunts or anything that helps you gain more Spark are going to be helpful, because the more Spark you have, likely you can speed up your build, you could build faster, you could build multiple. These are going to be attractive features for any player. So definitely, like as I said, I know a lot of people have been frustrated with the game for the last couple of weeks or a few months. But it is beginning to get its legs again, and it's just a matter of time now that everything starts to fall into place. So I hope that's been helpful. Like I said, I'll put in all the information in the show notes, and we'll continue from where that has left off. So until the next episode, take care.